Okay. We Plavo, we can do Port Drazon. Let's do Plavo. Oh god. Team safe. It's concerning underway from Consecration game. That is consecrate. Consecrate. Whatever we're gonna say. And Wookade traveled for over an hour before the Arch Sanctuary of Plavo appeared just over the horizon. Its golden dome radiated under the morning sunrise. It was a view I've seen countless times, but it never failed to inspire awe. Titus, who was sitting next to the driver, turned back to me. She'll be arriving shortly, Your Majesty. Good, I've been looking forward for this quite some time. Yeah, century old ecclesiastical ceremony symbolizing a monarch's appointments as God's highest representative on earth, better known as the Divine Rate of Kings. It was a private event shrouded in secrecy. Only a select few were privy to what the ceremony entailed. Secret. Very well. Ah, Grand Wiseman Ignatius, looking stoic as ever. Look at the old geezer, it's hard to believe he's still breathing. Here we go. Alright, let us proceed. Right away, sir. I just quickly exited the vehicle and opened up my side door. They came to witness the event and they're liking me, yeah. Whole condism is not blasphemy. These people look like they could give us trouble. Should we have them removed? Yes, remove them immediately. Your actions are completely inappropriate. You really had to ask? Get these traitors the hell out of my sight. Get rid of them. Of course, right away. Good, they cleared them out. Let's recite a proverb. The old proverb translated, "Let joy fill the hearts of those who seek the Lord." Using the crowd shouted, the traditional reply meaning, "He is the Lord our God, his covenant is everlasting." Oh, that's nice. Welcoming smile spread across the grin wise man's face as he came downstairs to greet me. Welcome, Your Majesty. We are greatly honored to have you here for the momentous occasion. I look forward to serving you, as I served your father. It is I who is honored to be here. I shall honor this day with dignity and respect. Let's do that. He is a little bit religious. Fills my heart to hear the joy to hear that. I should do my best to provide you with more personal and state guidance on religion. Thank you. Please receive your guidance. Time is short. Thank you. Very well. Let's step inside. We have much to discuss. We made the right decision to remove the protesters, Majesty. We would not have wanted them disrupting our ceremony. Condism is not blasphemy, my foot. How dare they challenge our religious laws? Who do you think they were? The guards went too easy on them. They should have locked up the whole lot. Those poor lost souls. Is there any hope for them? How dare they challenge our religious laws? They've been irate ever since we began denying them entry to their holy sites. It was die when Galclantis prayed here in such a small number that their presence was tolerated. But the more the Doridians came to Rizia, the more they overwhelmed the sacred sanctuaries, Plavo, Benevon, and jails with their blasphemous version of worship. What's so blasphemous about it? They have a martial culture. Among other perversions. Very well. We're surrounded by ornate wall murals of religious scene depictions, leaving no surface bare. Nearby statues seemed to watch me as I passed. I remember the Arch Sanctuary being a lot bigger. That's because you used to be a lot smaller. Memories of your first learning to walk here are as vivid in my mind as they were yesterday. I suddenly recalled how overjoyed I was seeing Rena take her first steps. Being the final resting place of Talus the Devout, it's only fitting that such a monument be built in his honor. Credited for single-handedly spreading the teaching of Saint Rurik throughout the kingdom, he is considered Rizia's most revered disciple. Yes, of course, I've always admired him. Except for when I was the Playboy. Part of it collapsed, those have been roped off. Gives the place character. Many congregants don't share your opinion. One group of Galclantis came here as one of their holy privileges several years ago, an argument in the local workers. Wushistist, whatever the heck it's called, worshippers led to an altercation. I knew it. Why has it not been fixed? The religious climate is at a crossroads. Providing for the impoverished to expanding educational opportunities, our faith-based institutions are an essential part of everyday life, a fabric that ties our society together. Bundled under the umbrella of our state religion. Should religion be really playing a large role? You fool me. I look around, the heretics and blasphemers everywhere. I've been wondering whether we need a state religion. Shouldn't everyone be worshipped as he or she pleases, or that should be how it should be? I could know I would be lost without rubricism guide me. And heretics and blasphemers everywhere. Indeed, our religious unity has begun to splinter in recent years. Apart from the Gulf contest to receiving a rising number of Das nourished minority due to a growing number of Wesdic migrants. Dasnurni was the other main branch of the Norse religion observed in most countries to our north, including Wales and Rumburg. Lane had been a follower but converted to Rurikism on joining the Rizian royal family. Sacrifice but one she gladly made in order to be with me. I would never counsel this country to turn away people in need, your majesty. But I do worry that our religious values are in danger of being diluted. The Dasnurists are especially worrying. I suppose a particularly large threat. The Wessex went through hell in the Civil War, not that to take comfort in their religion. The blasphemers are a concern. That is, of course, worrying, your majesty. There's one decision that must be made right away regarding Rizia's religious plurality. He stopped pacing and looked at me. I recently received an urgent request from the Archpriest of Salabez, the city that Desner's sanctuary has long been insufficient to serve their worshippers' needs. He requests that a new one be constructed. Can't we just roll out the welcome mat? Can't you roll out the welcome mat to Desnerity? Where will it end? I'm not opposed, but isn't that on the purview of the province of Brenness? No, any large-scale religious project in Rizia must be approved and funded by the central religious authority. I should support the construction of a new Desnerist house of worship, as long as it does not take away resources from the reconstruction of this very our sanctuary. Pointed much more to the balcony. Patience your father to allocate state funds to return Plava to his former branch, where he was too preoccupied with other matters to assign the order. Can't believe that I'm now just hearing of this. Surprised you hadn't. Well, that's true. If we restore Plava, we'll be under more pressure to let Galcon's worshippers in. Perhaps, but we should stand unyielding against it like a tree against the wind. Okay, that's not the great politics. Treasury currently lacks the additional funds. That's unfortunate to hear, but perfectly understandable. Those matters can be discussed at a later date when the crown has more financial flexibility. Which brings me to the main reason for your visitation, the consecration of the king's ceremony. He approached me with a warm, inviting demeanor. With great honor, I shall lead you as you step across the threshold and unite with the divine. If you follow me, we can begin. He motioned towards a stone archway leading out of the chamber. I followed the grand wise man down a large corridor. Eventually came to a imposing iron door. Behind it was a descending spiral staircase, illuminated by torches mounted on the walls. How medieval? What's down there? I'm going to catch the plague, I know it. Is it where you keep the torch or chamber? No, that would be the soprano section of the Woodcrest Tabernacle Campfire. They're awful, but come. This way, your majesty. I continued after we went down the stairs, which seemed to go on forever. For long, we reached the bottom, where I was greeted by a wall of human bones that were carefully stacked to the top to the bottom. In the adjacent room, there were several tombs, each adorned with intricate decorations. Welcome to the catacombs. Impressive. Indeed it is. As for the tomb's tenants, they are mostly wealthy noblemen and families alongside other well-to-do individuals throughout the centuries. More about them. We shouldn't delay the ceremony any much longer, but very well. What would you like to know about? Let's just go through this real quickly. Layers of Zara, who's the Earl of Harvest, most real general, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. I see. The third tomb. But it's a Zara. I see these are all House of Zara. This is Aurelia Extaro, famed industrialist. Very well. Take the brooch. When Sal wasn't looking, I quickly reached and pocketed the brooch off the dead man. I had a hunch that possessing it might prove highly beneficial to the future. I don't know about that, but stealing from a dead guy sounds fun. So we got to another area. At the heart of the room stood a circle of 6 columns, each bearing a single star delicately carved upon them. They're arranged around a marble sarcophagus. Is that who I think it is? Indeed, Your Majesty. This is the tomb of Kalis the Devout. Rare are those who have set foot here. Count yourself among the blessed few. Sal placed the torch into a nearby sconce, carried a silver tray, approached us. It was a golden chalice, a clay jug filled with oil, a sponge, and one that appears to be a jug of wine. Let us begin. Please remove your clothes and stand on the royal seal. I'm ready. So we memorized the verses and we're reciting them, and they're anointing me very strangely. Pour the wine in the chalice until it reached the brim. Swallows the final resting place of Kalis the Devout. But what most don't know is this is where he performed his first miracle. Miracle? Yes, the miracle of foresight. For upon fulfilling his stomach with his sacred wine, the very wine before you now, he was given the ability to prophesy the future. He poured the wine into the chalice and held it high. What can I expect to see? You will see nothing. Only the most pious and reverent of men may drink from the sacred chalice. His expression darkened. That will not be you, at least not the... I see. He held up the chalice once more and drank until the wine was gone. Setting it back down the tray, then stepped towards me and held out his hands. Take his hands. Listen closely to my words, for the gift of sight comes in flashes. He closed his eyes and began talking in long breaths. Look around you. He stood in silence for what felt like an eternity. I wasn't sure what to expect. But then suddenly his body began to tremble and his hands took a firm grasp of mine. I couldn't let go even if I wanted to. I see a crown. It's ascending into the sky, rising high above the surrounding countryside. Whose crown? Please don't interrupt, Your Majesty. Down the crown is a fracture on the gold band. The higher it journeys upward, the larger the crack gets. Whether or not it can be mended is uncertain. Visions are possible outcomes will come to pass. They aren't set in stone. What else do you see? His grip tightened. And I see soldiers, many soldiers, war and death. So much death. And the victor? I cannot tell. But with who? The most vicious foe. More than that, I cannot say. Who soldiers? One of our armies, yes. The uniforms carry the royal seal. Continue to listen closely to his words. I now see 2 individuals. They're embraced in each other's arms. Lovers. Surrounded by people both for and against their union. Oh boy, I know what this is. Okay, so my daughter's gonna go for that guy. Great. Is it me? Am I one of the lovers? Union has a marriage. Lovers, go on. It's forbidden love, or one of disapproval. One of them is your blood, yeah. Made it a little bit too obvious, okay? Union has a marriage, or arrangement. Keep going. For me now is the heart is being stabbed by a sword. Metaphorical betrayal? Possibly. Now I behold an endless sea of people stretching as far as the eye can see. You're marching toward the royal palace. Enjoy your anger, I cannot say for sure. Above them are birds. Tens of thousands of them are so thick they blacken the sky. They're migrating from distant lands and making their nests in ours. Ah, Colconchists. The Wezeks. What do we want to... It's scary music. We're having a religious moment, Kyle. The birds represent the gold contest coming to our lands. And on a nearby mountain overlooking the city sits a beast. A beast with 3 heads. Each head is fighting with each other. They must be brought under control, either through taming or the severing of one or more of the heads. Or all 3 will surely die, so we have to get rid of one of the royal houses. Yes. Or we can say that they're under 3 different flags. Wayland, the Change Hills, and our own. Yes, let us bring war. The fuck is this game in general, actually? It is like a... It's hard to describe. It's like a multiple choice, political role-playing game, I guess. We're the king of a country. We just took over. I felt Sal loosen his hold of me, letting go. I looked at him curiously until he finally spoke. His visions have finally stopped, thus concluding the ceremony. I think I understand. Good. For now it's up to you to decipher the meaning. Good. The will of the divine coursing through your veins. It is your responsibility to carry out what he has ordained, and it is mine to aid you in your holy duty. I am an instrument of nobody, not God. Okay, well, I'm not going to say that. Pray that he and you will guide me to do what is best for the country. I must confess that I do not fully believe what's going on. Okay, let's go with that one. Good. Okay, so that went well. Part of me questioned whether or not what I experienced was real, and if it was, that I accept my responsibility that came with my consecration. Did I really speak for the divine? Before long, I was back on the road again, back to reality. Well. And we got more decrees? No. Thankfully not. Royal Consecration Ceremony reaffirms monarch religion unity. Oh yeah. Oh my god. More reading. Arrange a classical concert for the noble houses. Testament of a monarchy's commitment to the arts. It reinforces prestigious image among the noble houses. Well, we only have one. Let's go with it. Kind of a waste of cash, but why not? Oh my god, look at all that. Oh my god, too many decrees. There's too much. What the fuck? Okay. There's a lot of different stuff. I don't look terrible today, thank you. Heavy industrial park, the hydroelectric dam, industry park, gas field. Oh Jesus, there's a lot of stuff. We're not gonna sell anything. Tenant protection laws, welfare privatization. That sounds horrible. Remove income tax, landowners tax, raise base income tax, enact inheritance tax. Fucking no. Welfare privatization sounds awful. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Never in a million years. Sounds like a horrible idea. Okay, we have this thing, briefing on the current security situation. Let's see, on the way back from Plevo Arch Sanctuary, I met my council in the city of that, I can't pronounce that, for a brief meeting on security and military situation. The so-called Forge of Rizia was famous for its numerous foundries and factories in which iron from the nearby hills was transformed into rifles and handguns. See, so that's where we get our weapons from. My council and I were given a tour of the facilities. Let's see. The Duchess of the province and my war and security counselor, Lucida sat at the head of the table. She nodded at the rest of us. Majesty, Your Highness, my esteemed fellow counselors. I planned this meeting here so that the king would have a shorter journey after his consecration ceremony. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure the proceedings were very taxing. Between me and God. I see. I am but a lowly conduit between his majesty and the powers that be. Hugo nodded approvingly. I know better than to pry on the contents of the mere ceremony, Your Majesty, but I will say that I hope it was an enlightening experience. You may proceed. With great pleasure, Your Grace. He gestured to one of the murals behind the wall, depicted a beautiful but severe-looking woman riding a horse down the King's Avenue, a rifle at the ready. My ancestress, Anna Azaro, ordered the construction of this foundry in 1812, after the War of Rizian Succession. House Azaro knows that peacetime is not a period of rest. It is a time to gather our strength and hone our weapons. Very well, I don't have any cash, though. Pessimistic view? No, I don't agree. We can also use peacetime to form new alliances. We should be more vigilant and prepared, but not to the point where military focus distracts us from the needs of the Rizian people. That makes sense. Safety is the top of the hierarchy of people's needs, is it not? Everything else is optional. Oh, my word. The failed campaign on Pales in the Rebellion of 1926, served as a double blow to the Rizzian armed forces. Even after my father purged the troops and general staff of all suspected traitors to the throne, His Majesty King Valero was reluctant to restore our military to its former strength. As a result, Your Majesty was ludicrously underequipped for a country of our size. This is alarming. Yes, we're going to have significant change. We know resources efficiently, but we can understand the details behind the plan more ahead. Let's go. Let's just go for the more extreme option. Because I want to invade some places. I share your urgency as an immediate audit of our military asset is necessary. From there, we can fast-track procurement and training to address the most pressing deficiencies. I'd like to offer my insights and your strategic decisions regarding our military priorities. Very well. Air Force? Okay, you want them to Air Force. Diversity of resources and units. Very well. Training these units is in... yes. Takes time. Takes time to train them. And... blah, 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 blah. How long the cost of training, equipping... warfare dynamics. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of options. Whoa, that's a lot. How long does it take to prepare a unit from basic training to full combat readiness? They have full readiness within a year. Very well. Intelligence is appreciated. Important for our kingdom that the echoes of Pales and the rebellion teach us the deadly cost of unpreparedness. Yes, very much so. Yes. Camp Dominus still runs the most rigorous high-quality training program on the continent, right? With lightning speed, he reached under a table, pulled out a knife, and hurled it in the direction of the doorway. Titus languidly snatched it out of the air. You insane? They could have hurt somebody. Spoken like someone who hasn't gone through our training. She grinned briefly before regaining her poise. But my point stands. There's much work to be done. What needs to be invested in most? Oh, well, okay. Well, how about our Navy and Air Force? Significant strides in the past 30 years. Yes, true. Submarines could use improvement. Very well. Air Force still suffering the consequence of the Pales campaign. Yeah, Lesbia. Okay, so Lesbia intervened. Very well. And they wouldn't have those. It was their close ties to Arcasia. Very true. There's much to criticize about the West, but their technological prowess can't be argued with. There's a question of numbers. She shook her head. It could be better. General conscription levies from individual provinces. The provincial army should be pulling more weight, though I do understand that some others of Brennus and Valencris are not nearly as well trained as Cardi Monteclars, so that's fair. I would also suggest extending the length of conscription period, knowing the age down. Why did he lower it to 24 anyway? 24 is when it's fully formed, apparently. I thought it was 25. Young people, especially young men, tend to make irrational decisions before that age. Such as rebelling against their general, I see. they've said the 1920s are extraordinary circumstances. There will be no second mutiny. Or weapons? Decide. Despite our very draining surroundings, we have neglected the potential of the industrial thing. We have KA-74 rifles. Interesting. But we invested more in the research, development, and production of the city. Our small arms industry could be a real force to be reckoned with. See the need for that. It's cheaper to continue importing from Rumburg. They have the capability to build larger weapons too. Boost the local economy, that's true. I'll take our diplomatic stance into account. We can kind of trust Rumburg for now, although at the same time, I don't really trust Rumburg. It's probably kind of a holdover from the main game, because you can't really trust Rumburg. But I'll go with that. Save us untold amounts in the long run. Well, we can make a license, yeah, that's true. Missiles are the best purchase from Rumburg, borrowing that Rizia. The theocrats have very good missiles, apparently. Interesting. Rizia, something on stable trade relations with Rumburg. Yeah, let's focus on Rumburg if we have to pick between the two. Yeah, Rizia, they have religious differences with us that are too extreme to get over. Okay, we will discuss Rizia during our foreign policy meeting, and very well. Let's move on to other matters. How's about internal security? Yes, I did notice something about drugs. Quite a lot of drug running, apparently. The police forces are okay. Civil disobedience is allowed. Oh no, zero tolerance policies. My bad. Okay. Good. Central Police is headquartered in there, and they're keeping the capital secure. Members of the House of Zon, who rule Baroness, have mostly fallen in line after the uprising. They're content to use the House delegates as a forum for their grievances. Good. She sighed. The problem here is Isa. Yes, I noticed that. Yes, Wizek and Doridian newcomers. It's complicated. Migrants and Weziks. Some turned into the black market to supplement their meager guest worker income, giving rise to organized crime. What sort of black market activities? Probably drugs, right? The drug trade mostly. There are cartels connected to families in Welland, who in turn answer to powerful distributors in Agard. I didn't to tackle this myself with the community policing programs, but the network's too strong. Yeah, I could imagine. In my opinion, the growing influence of the nationalist group Su Amana has only exacerbated tensions in the area. That's kind of the issue with like drug, like organized crime. It's usually systemic problems. It's not something you can finish. You can finish off with like a community policing program. So, King, of course, I might disagree. It's true, I did support Su Amana. They may have made things worse without meaning to. That's a good middle ground to strike. Because I don't want to lose support for Hugo or his cousin, or his son, my cousin. But at the same time, I don't necessarily want to go like full defend the Rizian Nazis. Found it with good intentions, yes, that's me. Good Rizians of Isa are doing their best with the resources they've been given, Duchess, my son included. Problem is, as I see it, lies in the lack of cooperation between the city's police forces and those in the surrounding region. Yes, I've received Duke Rico's complaints that the Brennan's forces have not been providing him with as much aid as he wishes. As well as his request that the extra police and more essential forces be transferred to Isa. You see. Yes. Why are they not cooperating? Some assistance, but they... I see. So they just don't like Rico, basically. This is a long story. I say protect and serve is their job, but I get it. I have the situation under control. Very good. Well, Your Majesty, shall we continue with the briefing? What about the intelligence capabilities? I was getting to that, Your Majesty. We have operatives in Morella, Rizia, Central Wayland, Lesbia, and Rumburg. Why don't you have Oxford commas? Need an Oxford comma there. His Majesty Valero, however, insisted on withdrawing our intelligence private zeal and pale. Father, that was a mistake. Why would he do that? He's afraid our leaders will get suspicious. He may have had been right, or it may have been trademark paranoia. In my experience, we may have more to gain from straightforward diplomacy than coping with aggro operations. Well, I do want to invade at some point, So, Lorento, I'm sorry, you're probably wrong on that. Well, that's fine. Rizia, you're fooling yourself. What useful information were we receiving from either region before operatives or through all? That's a good question. Duke Najola's abdication before it was officially announced. Wait, that's not that great of like a like a win. Let's not make a commentary on that. Let's just say, what about domestic intelligence? Main intelligence focus has been preventing another uprising. To that end, our information gathering has been concentrated in Apprentice, where the last anti-monarchist movement originated. Asking her about the military. Are you watching your own military? As I mentioned, the military has been purged and provinces under their strictest control. Very well. Very well, very well, very well. Must teach myself briefly, ladies and gentlemen. Please continue without me. What is it? I'll explain once I have the details. What that is about. Checking the time. If we leave soon, we can make it back to Port Rizan before it gets too late. Very well. Stowed it in a leather holster and strapped to her thigh. That's great. Lower your hem, Duchess. The Lord frowns upon such indecency. Careful with that, I had a bad dream involving stabbing. Nobody's getting stabbed on my watch. And return to the capital would be my preference as well. He's back. He doesn't seem very good. He's wiping his brow with a silk pocket square. Too early to tell if it's good or bad, but it's certainly impactful. I just received official confirmation that our neighbors have been accepted in the Arcashian Treaty Organization. Shit. Well then? Trying to be humorous, Your Majesty. It was a joke. He knows it could only have been Lesbia, of course. Of course. Oh, only Lesbia. When we all see this coming, it should hardly be considered a surprise. Indeed, this development has been on the horizon for some time, but our relations with our neighbors, too, are sure to change because of it. Thanks for updating us, Mr. Escobil. I suggest that we set a date for meeting Lesbia's ATO membership, as well as our general foreign policy strategy. As soon as possible. Yes, we should all get on the same page. Oh, yes. Music is a reflection of our time. Our area is far from neatly orderly. Why should Albini's compositions be? Okay, so they're arguing about cultural stuff. But wanted to hear 2 hours of ear-splitting screaming and pay for a visit to my sister-in-law. It's the works of the chaotic and untrained. Here, Hugo. Listen to them long enough, their structure appears. I beg your pardon, Majesty. I'll be sure to listen to them more attentively during the concert. Lucia gave an impatient shrug. He confesses that sounds old-fashioned to me. Have you heard the jazz that's coming out of Kinal these days? What's Kinal? Okay, so it's near Xena, so this is way far away from where we are. Very well. Oh, wow, for your Arcashian Treaty Organization, what will that mean for us? Nothing good, that's for sure. Damn Americans. Oh, wow. This is... Continue. What's this? The Golden Kingdom. Finally, we have some money. Holy shit. Rizian Armed Forces. Dude, what? What the hell? Tanks. We don't have a lot of tanks, only 25? Jeez. Damn. Suffer when attacking mountains, huh? Militia? Paratroopers, Golden Guard, Azaro Elites, Sezon Levies. Azaro Elites, Marine, Mountaineer, Mercenary, Flagship. Let's make tanks. and infantry. And some of these guys, I guess. I don't... Oh, no, I don't want to cancel. Let's do that. Sure. I have no clue if that was good choices or not, but we'll see. Lower conscription to 18. That reduces budget and authority pretty significantly. We don't need to do that just yet. Move presidential police. What is that? It's a national security. That moves quite a bit of authority. A little bit of budget. Decreases military, okay. Temporary decrease in manpower. Okay, so that basically streamlines law enforcement, which might be a good idea. But for authority? We'll look at some other stuff first. Increase conscription duration by 12 months. It's another thing. More budget. More budget, more budget, more budget. Increase provincial levy obligations. Remove provincial levy obligations. Inheritance tax. Income. Heating subsidies. Yes, the religious tax. And increases... Wayland and Rumberg. Let's not do that if we think that cause issues with Rumberg. Ooh, a survey initiative would be good. Let's consider that. But first, tax credits. Give them money for one time, okay. Naturalization process for foreigners. Okay, so basically if they're confirmed as being legalized, illegal, why would you want that? Really? So basically we legalize all the illegal stuff and it increases the budget. I find it interesting that the religious leader does not really care. I might consider that one. Remove the death penalty? Hell no. Enforced religious education? That's probably not a smart idea. I don't know, maybe. Equal gender pay? Sounds like a good idea. Tenant protection laws. Global. Oh, this is a purchase. What does this do? Okay, that increases the number of energy. Okay, so that's what we need. We don't need that right now. First batch of military equipment from international market. Planes, ships. Oh my lord, there's a lot of stuff. Holy shit. Hydroelectric dam. What's this? Naval shipyard. A little bit decrease in budget and authority. 2-turn construction that reduces the energy production on completion. Marines on completion. Increases our navy quite a bit. Heavy industrial park. Oh gosh. How about the gas field? Okay, so we'll do this. I think this is a good idea. That way we get the gas. Okay, it takes about 3 turns. But that's okay because we'll at least be able to... I want to be able to at least be producing some energy per turn. So let's do that. Oh my gosh. There's too much stuff going on. Okay, so anyway. We have some budgets. Budgets. We have consumer industry. There's too much stuff. Consumer industry. I want something that can shoot people. I think we're okay as far as that goes. Legalizing illegal substances sounds interesting. It increases budget as well. Let's do that. Let's remove the provincial police as well. And that'll make our policing a little better. Very good. We have no more cash, though. Anything else we can do with 2? Raise base income tax. That sounds like a bad idea. We can do energy sales. That's not something I want to do right now. Although that being said, what if I sold 2? Oh, medium. Free budget. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, what other stuff we got here? News. Please centralize chaos sense today. Recreational narcotics soon be available at local pharmacists. Kings envision creative gas exports. Fuel to supply. Rizia's neighbor worried about drug legalization. Yes. Hehe. Yes, you're going to have to suffer. I am the drug kingpin. Never saw the oil field closure. Oh no. This is bad. One door opens, another closes, another opens. Yes. That's a shame. Not good. Only 1 per turn now. Very concerning. Okay. And how about the Council on Foreign Relations? The day of my Foreign Policy Council meeting had arrived, and it was a hot one. The fans at Palace Resident provided little relief, and I decided to take on some fresh air at the Palace Gardens. I didn't know much about the many plants and flowers in display around me, but they were pleasing to look at and provided some welcoming shade. And Venus is reading a book on a bench beneath a decorative stone arch. Talk to my mother or talk to Vina? Let's talk to Vina real quick here. Oh, hello, Father. Good to see you outside the council chambers. Do you have any questions about the few meetings? Sorry, I found both Hugo made you uncomfortable. I bet you're wishing you never asked to come to my meetings, right? No, she has lots of opinions on politics, I can tell. You have any questions? Plenty, but I'll figure them out in my own time. All this council stuff is old hat for you, isn't it? You've even served with some of the same people before. A long time ago, and they should be probably retired. Take my opinions into consideration, but I'm the one with the final say. Any good monarch listens to the will of the people. Queen Rizia always said that. Good monarch listens, a great monarch acts. Lisa acted too. The clock chimed in the distance. It was time for the meeting. Let's go. Superpower suddenly taking interest in this part of the continent. What's next? All of our children will have to learn Arcasian? The decision wasn't made with any ill intent towards Rizia. There's a greater global forces at work than what's happening in our corner of South Mercopa. What the superpowers decide affect us, Mr. Squibble. Your intent is of no importance. You started a meeting without me? The 3 of them noticed me and fell silent. Excuse us, Your Majesty. We're just discussing the recent news concerning Lespia's membership in ATO. I agree with Mr. Esquibel. There's nothing to worry about. We have Duchess Cesaro, very concerned. We don't know enough necessarily. I know Lespia had issues with us, so let's be careful. A reasonable response, of course. Nothing reasonable about allowing Rizia and his puppets to spread instability along the globe. What would you have us do, Duchess Cesaro? We're on a shaky enough ground with Lespia as it is. Let me read a little bit of Lespia here. Country in eastern Mercopia with Coppets, territory in the Arcadian Sea, the Parliamentary Republic, Patricio Alvarez. He's very rich. Here's Lespia. Okay, Lespia's up here. This isn't necessarily the United States. This is a different... Yes, I remember now. Conversation. I didn't mean to press that. Too early to say. Most significant economic relationship with Lesbia is our partnership in the MITZ rather. What is our current relationship with Lesbia? Neutral but frosty. What are the security implications? Yes, they're going to increase their presence in Lesbia. Already houses them, so there's going to be even more. What does this development pose a threat? Does it pose a threat, rather? Not immediate, but we must be watchful. We do suspect the Sezons were communicating with Arcadia prior to the 1926 uprising. Very well. Friendly ties with at least one monarchy. You may recall that President Dwight Walker actually boasts Brumbergian heritage. Look at that face. It's Richard Nixon. Alright, what do you think I should do? Everybody began to talking at once. Ego motioned for silence. In my view, Rizia should bolster alliances with the fellow monarchies like Rumberg and the rest of the guild of royal allies for commercial exchange. Building stronger alliances with them will not only enrich us, but will counterbalance ATO's democratic influence. This is true, but we can't rely on grace to come to our aid in the conflict. For that, we'll need to build up our military and defense capabilities. It's more capable to hold trade relations with our neighbors. I like the idea of working closer with Rumberg and building closer economic ties. Everybody. What do you think, Vina? Certainly don't want tensions rise to Lesbia at this point, but we don't want ATO's influence to overwhelm us either. Other cultural exchanges and other partnerships to Rizia's own influence beyond our borders. It does sound expensive. I'll bring it up at the end of the meeting. Very good. Anything to add, Grand Wise Man? She's going to say rumor. Ballestate says goodwill and compassion towards our neighbors. On the other hand, we must be watchful. Lesbia does not use this international clout to further spread the Das nearest faith. I'd like to get a full picture of Rizia's geopolitical situation before offering my own opinion. No, here's where I look. Here's what I think. I think Hugo has the right idea. Aligning more closely with Rumberg and Grace will protect us. Like Helena's suggestion. Lucida, Lorento. Oh, let's align ourselves more closely with Rumberg. And Mr. Escobil, you had prepared an overview of our current geopolitical situation prior to this development. Would you care to proceed with that? Certainly. Should we discuss first? How about Wayland? What's going on with these guys now? Turbulent at best since the Civil War. Yeah, Victor Somolak. Yeah. Wish you wouldn't be where we are with Wayland. It's not a good look for us to remain linked to them. Only ask that Wayland return Rizia as promised. After that, I'm happy to cut ties. And they have respected the deal. That's true. If they respected the deal, I think we should probably respect them, I suppose you could say. Wayland's access to Zeal land and resources helped bring it out of recession after the war. Smolak will have difficulty letting it go such a valuable asset. Do you think he's going to honor it? Smolak is not as weak as it seems. It will take a great deal of time and effort before our firepower matches his. He may act bold. And he promises to honor the treaty. We might have to sweeten the deal a little bit with him, but I think it would be worth it. Can the international community intervene? Let's ask that. Okay, so they were all, he held them captive over oil. And how about the people of Zeal themselves? So they fled. We'll have to appease him a little bit. Fighting terrorism, my blood is a coal contest. Ethnic group native to Wayland and Swordland. He's been very vocal about his desire for cooperation on that front, and I will assist. Not all bloods are terrorists, Your Grace. Mr. Smolak is particularly interested in a separatist group known as the Bloodish Freedom Front. We've been rumored to be receiving support from none other than Rumberg. Oh. I'd advise against getting involved with the BFF. But Wayland's internet isolation within Marcopa could be a strategic advantage on our end. For those posturing, I believe Victor Smollett truly wants Rizia as an ally. Yes, we could use him to potentially. I don't know if the game will allow us this, but we could talk to Rumberg and maybe get them to do something to reduce this funding to the BFF in exchange for zeal. But I have a feeling it's not going to happen. Next trip is at the end of the year. Okay, second last at Wesnik Rizian Friendship Day. What's that? I say, use the occasion to trot out all the new shiny tanks. Wayland's only money you got to go on. Funding has been brought up. Okay, that's nice. Yes, my presence will be necessary. We can maybe come to a productive agreement. An admirable impulse, but is unfortunately only a ceremony, not a diplomatic talk. Don't worry, I can riz him up. I'm from Rizia, baby. How about Pales? Yes. Unfortunate passing has given us a chance to fresh start with Duke Reinhardt. No, fuck him. Fuck Duke Reinhardt. Oh, look at him. Look at his face. Nope. Can't trust him. Nope. A man who looks like that is untrustworthy. I doubt it. He knows I showed father his letter. You were under pressure. As a fellow royal, he'll understand. I advised your father to speak with the new Duke of Pales to avail, of course. Tried his brother Mjol. Holma, Axel Reinhardt seems far more amenable to a thaw between our two countries. He wasn't even born when Rizia and Pales were fighting, and I suspect he is beginning to see the disadvantage of staying closely connected to Lesbia. What about their current relationship? They've been dependent on them, and they feel kind of taken advantage of, it seems like. Ah, I see. So they've been kind of taken advantage of. How about the Rizian speaking population? They're a minority, but a vocal one. They believe in the preservation of the Rizian language, but they consider themselves oh, damn. Duke Jolma's proposed Rizian ban was a bridge too far for them. They seem to heavily favor his brother. Where's Vogelsland is all this? Not a friendly one, okay. Very well. Okay, so they were all opposed to socialism. That's good. Good for us anyway. I don't know. I mean, there could be an opportunity there if we're gonna be anti Lesbia. Is it too late to start one there over there now? I don't think so. We should play the sympathies of Rizian speaking sentiment for the population, sway them over to our side. I don't think that's gonna happen. Or we can attempt diplomacy. Unfortunately, I think I might have to attempt diplomacy because it makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna have to work with them anyway, so that'd be good. Very well. The country of the former empire, Morelia or Derelia? Morella. New left-wing ruling coalition, huh? Unfortunately. Alma Santar. Oh, it's a woman. Morellan United Front. Quinali. I see. Must be an APO or enough of a threat without the Melankivists knocking at your back door, the communists. Occasionally, liberalism is a far worse threat to our way of life than the communists. You're right. Communists, they're both awful, according to me. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to become more diplomatic than I intend to. So let's just be anti-everything. In this case, it's Valgazian socialism we ought to be worried about, not Malevolent. Okay, so there's a difference. Yes. Leon Chavadabakunda. Yeah, that's okay. That's great. Great name. And they're not going to enter the Continent Security Pact. From Sultana's region beach of Valgazian Emmerich Hagel. How about Vaga's land? Neutral the best, okay. Yeah, he's obviously not. Chancellor Hagel is not a big fan of the old empire. They're ready, yeah? Country conversion to a theocracy. However, number of cooperative agreements, including acceptance to free migrants and labor hands. I'll say that the Supreme Wise Man, Jorga Esmal, did not approve of our ban of Galcantis pilgrims to Rizian holy sites. Yes, His Majesty and I discussed that ban prior to the ceremony in Plavo. However, reservations about it myself, but I trust the Grand Wise Man's decision. If the ban is harming our relations with Iria, perhaps it could be reconsidered. I trust the Grand Wise Man's decision. As do I. I wonder, though, why he has not put similar restrictions on Dasnurists. They may be stray, gentlemen, but the Galcantis and Dasnurists are both our brethren. I'm merely worried the growing number of Galcantis visitors at sites like Plavo and their rather physical interpretation of our religion will alienate the true Rorikist believers. I'll point out that our stance on Galcantis is far gentler than Morella's. Interesting. Yes, they've taken to blocking Deridians at the border entirely. I think the Morellans wouldn't be thrilled if we revoked their own ban. Well, they've been having a hard enough time keeping the Galcantis at bay. Too many about Deridians' beliefs, you can't argue with their weaponry. Part of the warrior culture. Practice is centered around martial discipline and physical strength. It'd be good to have a culture like that on our side. Can it be bargained with? Everyone can be bargained with. Yes. What's going on in Swordland? Now the colonel has decided to retire, you mean? His successor, Alfonso, from everything you heard, he's Saul's exact opposite. That's bad. It's too bad. I actually liked Saul. The feeling wasn't mutual. Saul's disdain for the monarchy kept us shut out of trade negotiations with Swordland for decades. The Alfonso meanwhile has no qualms about royalty. In fact, his new development minister, Gus Manger, has already had personal business dealings in Rizia. Our friend Mr. Montero, the Rizian world. Gold is making overtures to Sodus oligarchy, it seems. Birds of crafty, ostentatious plumages flock together. What does Swordland want from us? I'm not sure I trust Alfonso as minister, but I'm open to proposals. Your feet to repair our ties with Swordland. Perhaps the glory days of Rizia are not lost after all. I'll contact you once Alfonso has agreed on the date for his visit. That's everything, isn't it? Ah, Rumberg. Rumberg. How are my allies? Queen Beatrice and her country are doing just fine from what we're seeing. Miss Warner has already mentioned large amounts of gold we've exported to the country through their strategic Port Grim. Port Grim, that's hell of a name. Also, a deal allowing Rumberg ships priority access to our ports in Port Trezon and Monquise. We are, in essence, their gateway to the Antiquian Sea. Militarily speaking, their alliance doesn't amount to much. Rumberg will supply us in arms in case of war, but neither our countries are officially obligated to come to each other's aid. What about the rumors of them interfering in Wayland? It's been proven. I say. Yes, and they do actually in the main game, because you play Swordland in the main game, they do invade Swordland. That's smart. Queen Beach will get further with these kinds of destabilization efforts than outright hostility. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of escalation. Both countries are rich in the one thing Rumberg still needs: energy. Yes, Her Excellency made Rumberg's oil and natural gas fields plainly known. If we end up at a stake in that new field, I expect her to come calling. And gas needs plainly known. It's presumptuous of her. There are plenty of other potential uses for that gas. Becoming one of Rumberg's main energy supplies would definitely strengthen our partnership. Becoming one of Rumberg's main energy suppliers would definitely strengthen our partnership. It would. Whether that's a good or bad thing in the eyes of the international community is another question. I will remind you that the council of our previous conversation regarding ATO, the necessity of strengthening our bonds with other monarchies, especially Rumburg. Yes, that's the policy that I'm going with. Ah, yes, Vina. She is technically Rumburgian, half Rumburgian. And he still dotes on me. I'm like a daughter she never had. Good. See to it that you remain in Her Excellency's good graces. The Queen was always fond of me as well. She knows how much I loved my Lena. Maybe it's time we arranged a visit with Aunt Bay. Bay? I don't know. Is that all from you? I need one more proposition, I guess. Increase Rizian soft power, yes. Spoken of the need for pro-Rizian sympathies and zeal and pales. The Arana Tourist Association. Non-profit organization dedicated to the promotion of Rizian language and culture abroad. Very well, we have no cash though. What does it do? Promotes Rizian culture abroad. Very well. How will it be helpful? Wouldn't it be costly? It even gives it an edge in the upcoming trade deals, but if you want to be frugal, I would choose between two of the regions. Reminds me up, I'd rather not fund the ATA in either Zeal or Pales. I don't have any cash for it. That's a shame. But I have the budget earmarked for other uses, unfortunately. Should have considered that. Not at all, Mr. Escobile. I always enjoyed sharing in your expertise.